Gentlemen, in a world where honesty is often elusive and trust can be a fragile commodity, being able to spot deception is a crucial skill. For men navigating relationships, friendships, or even professional interactions, the ability to recognize when someone is lying directly to their face can be both empowering and protective. While conventional wisdom often points to obvious signs like shifty eyes or nervous fidgeting, the truth is that detecting lies goes far beyond these cliches. This discussion dives deeper into 3 brutally honest and unique signs that someone is deceiving you, emphasizing aspects often overlooked in mainstream advice. From subtle facial expressions that betray true emotions to the telltale signs of overcompensating with unnecessary details, and the shifting baseline of behavior that signals a departure from their norm. Each of these indicators offers a nuanced perspective on uncovering deceit. By understanding these lesser-known cues, men can equip themselves with a sharper insight into human behavior, fostering healthier relationships built on trust and authenticity. This exploration not only challenges common misconceptions but also empowers individuals to navigate their personal and professional lives with greater clarity and confidence. Number 1. Incongruent micro-expressions. Micro-expressions are those tiny, fleeting facial expressions that last only a fraction of a second but reveal a person's true feelings. These are almost impossible to fake or control because they happen so quickly and are often subconscious. When someone is lying, their face might momentarily show an emotion that contradicts what they're saying. This is where the truth peeks out, even if just for a split second. Imagine you're talking to someone who's claiming to be happy for you. They're smiling, but if you look closely, you might catch a brief flash of disgust or sadness in their eyes. This brief expression is a micro-expression, and it reveals what they really feel even if their words say otherwise. Why is this brutally honest? Because it exposes the raw truth that most people would rather hide. People lie for all sorts of reasons, to protect themselves, to avoid conflict, to manipulate. But micro-expressions don't lie. They're the unfiltered truth seeping out despite the person's best efforts to conceal it. Most advice on detecting lies tells you to look for signs like avoiding eye contact or fidgeting, but those are easy to fake or control. Someone who's good at lying can maintain eye contact and keep still. Micro-expressions, on the other hand, are incredibly difficult to suppress. They flash across a person's face so quickly that even the best liar might not realize they're giving themselves away. To spot these micro-expressions, you need to be observant and focused. Pay attention to the person's face, especially around the eyes and mouth. If their facial expression changes in a way that doesn't match their words, you're likely catching a glimpse of their true feelings. For example, if they're reassuring you about something but there's a quick flicker of fear or guilt, it's a strong sign they're not being truthful. Here's the brutally honest part. Recognizing micro-expressions requires practice and a willingness to accept uncomfortable truths. It means acknowledging that people, even those close to you, might not always be honest. It's not about being paranoid, but about being aware and not taking everything at face value. If you notice these subtle cues, you might have to confront the reality that you're being lied to, which can be tough but necessary for protecting yourself from deception. Number 2, overcompensating with details. When someone lies, they often try to make their story more believable by adding an excessive amount of detail. This overcompensation is their attempt to cover up the lie by making it sound convincing and credible. However, these extra details can often be their downfall because they usually end up being too much and unnecessary. Think about a time when you asked someone a simple question like where they were last night. A straightforward answer might be, "I was at home watching TV." But a liar trying to seem convincing might say something like, "I was at home watching TV. I started with the news, then switched to this documentary about sharks, and after that I watched a couple of episodes of this new series. I had some popcorn, but it was a bit burnt, so I didn't eat much of it, and then I went to bed around 10:30. Why is this brutally honest? Because it forces you to recognize that people lie to manipulate how you perceive them. They think that by drowning you in details, you'll be more likely to believe them. But in reality, this over-explanation often serves as a smokescreen, hiding the truth in plain sight. It's an insult to your intelligence, assuming you won't notice the excess and just accept the story. Here's the thing. Honest people don't feel the need to embellish their answers with unnecessary details. They answer directly and move on. Liars, on the other hand, worry that you'll catch them in their lie, so they try to make their story as elaborate as possible to prevent any suspicion. To catch this kind of lie, pay attention to the level of detail someone provides. If their answer is overly detailed for the question you asked, it's a red flag. They're likely trying to distract you from the fact that their story is fabricated. For example, if you ask where someone was, and they go into a minute-by-minute account of their evening, it's a sign they're not being straightforward. Another brutally honest truth: catching someone in this kind of lie can be uncomfortable because it often reveals that the person doesn't trust you enough to be honest or is trying to manipulate you. This realization can be painful, especially if it's someone close to you. But recognizing these overly detailed stories for what they are can protect you from being deceived. Number 3. Shifting baseline of behavior. Everyone has their own baseline behavior, how they typically act, speak, and carry themselves in everyday situations. When someone lies, their behavior often deviates from this baseline. This shift can be subtle but noticeable if you pay close attention. Imagine you know someone well enough to recognize their usual mannerisms and speech patterns. You're familiar with how they react in different situations, their tone of voice, their body language, even the specific words they tend to use. Now picture a scenario where they're telling you something that doesn't quite add up. You might notice that they're not quite themselves. Maybe they're speaking faster than usual, avoiding eye contact more often, or using different expressions altogether. Why is this brutally honest? Because it confronts the fact that people change when they lie. It's not just about telling a fib, it's about altering how they present themselves to fit the narrative they want you to believe. This alteration can be a subconscious attempt to distance themselves from the lie, or a deliberate strategy to appear more convincing. Here's the reality. Catching these shifts requires you to be observant of subtle changes in behavior. It's not always about catching someone sweating or nervously tapping their foot, although those can be signs too. It's more about noticing the small, nuanced differences in how they communicate and carry themselves when they're trying to deceive you. For example, someone who is usually calm and collected might suddenly become defensive or overly jovial when questioned about a suspicious event. Or they might start using formal language when they typically speak casually. These deviations from their normal behavior can be telling clues that something isn't quite right. Being brutally honest also means acknowledging that people you trust can lie to you. It's a reminder to not take everything at face value and to trust your instincts when something feels off. Confronting these shifts in behavior can be uncomfortable because it challenges the image you have of someone. But it's crucial for seeing through deception. In a world where trust is both a cornerstone and a vulnerability, the ability to discern truth from deception is a vital skill. Throughout this exploration, we've uncovered 3 nuanced signs that go beyond the typical cues of lying, offering a deeper understanding of human behavior and communication. From the fleeting micro-expressions that reveal unspoken emotions to the tendency to overcompensate with unnecessary details, and the subtle shifts in baseline behavior that betray deception. Each of these insights provides a valuable toolkit for navigating the complexities of interpersonal relationships. By embracing these insights, men can cultivate a heightened awareness of authenticity and honesty in their interactions. This journey isn't just about uncovering lies, but about fostering genuine connections based on mutual trust and respect. Ultimately, mastering the art of detecting deception is about more than just protecting oneself from falsehoods. It's about building meaningful relationships founded on transparency and integrity. Armed with this knowledge, men can navigate their lives with clarity and confidence, forging paths that lead to genuine understanding and deeper connections with others. Stay safe, gentlemen. Thanks for watching, and stay soulfully synergized.